Hi, this is Dr. Mike Yuan. Welcome to my January 20th, 2022 update. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel so you can be notified of all the new information as it comes out. Today, I'd like to give you a preview of a key aspect of the Yang Tai Chi training that I'm offering through Advanced Human Training. Of pushing hands, Toisho undoubtedly ranks near the top of the list of topics that Tai Chi enthusiasts continue to seek information about. Part of it, I think, is the fascination for the learning process. Another is the mystery surrounding the extraordinary skills that come from pushing hands practice. Where the Yang family became most known for was notably the power, the method generated. This is not to say that other schools and systems don't have their own profound means of developing power, especially through practices like the Jianzhuang. So I thought that as a preparation to embark on the actual learning and training of the original Yang style method as passed down from Yang Shouzhong to Zhu Jinsun and others, there's some preparation that's needed, partly due to the subtlety and refinement of this seemingly simple looking technique, but also because there are so many interpretations of what is right that anyone coming into the training who needs to have some background in Tai Chi practice will have invariably been exposed to. So we're talking about, on the one hand, unlearning old habits, and on the other hand, finding a way to gain the sensitivity in what I call self-awareness, to be able to grasp the seed of this power building technique. It's widely accepted and understood that Tai Chi Chuan, regardless of style, consists of two yin-yang aspects. One is solo training, and the other is two-person exercises. Toisho, or pushing hands, being at the center of it. And as I've explained in the first episodes, it's only because strength can be applied in the two-person exercises that the solo form can be done so softly, mianquan, in a cotton fist way, in order to develop the extraordinary strength and skills. And it's pretty much understood and agreed upon that in order to perfect one side, the other side needs to be done correctly as well. That really lies at the crux of my objective in this training, to impart the rationale and the standard and then the method so you can cultivate your own practice at your own time and pace. Now let's remember that this is a preparation for the formal training that you can sign up for. And by preparation, I mean things you need to know and apply as basic foundational knowledge during the training, because the training is going to go into great depth and detail. So just to give you a little background, this is part of the 21 insights of advanced Yang Tai Chi practice. We're going to have to discretely itemize various aspects of the training in order to be able to get each one down with precision. And you'll also notice that even though all these secrets, what they are self-evident truths that once brought to your awareness, you simply make sense of and say, oh, of course, so I'm going to make the change. There doesn't have to be anything esoteric about Tai Chi practice at this level. The best way I figured to introduce this topic is to appeal to your direct experience, either how you've trained or what's widely available over the internet. When you tune into toy show with pushing hands in any style, you see similar characteristics. The main one I want to press upon today is the difference between how I trained in the Yang family pushing hands compared to what is seen out there. In my design of the curriculum, we identify in the pushing hands 3 different positions of your stance. There's what I call position 1, which is your forward arrow stance. Position 2 is your neutral stance, where the weight's more or less even on 2 feet. And then there's position 3, where you're sitting back. Now these are all obvious, but what I see as needed is an increased awareness of the functionality of each of these positions. Now, I mentioned again in the previous videos of the pushing hand style using the G, which is the pressing posture, in the deep forward stance. I'd like you to compare this to what is typically seen in the pushing hands demonstrations online. In most cases, you see that the student is in position 2, sometimes even standing straight up, with the knees almost straight and the feet double weighted, with the center line facing the teacher. And then the hands engage, and all the sensitivity and the fudging and the subtle skills, I'll call it, are developed within this frame. The weakness I see is that there's more a goal of chi awareness and sensitivity that does not engage one's personal power, that is, one's martial power. It's interesting because me being among the first generation of Tai Chi practitioners in America in the 70s, I was there to witness this transformation of the method of pushing hands. When I trained, we were in the full position 1, and when we pushed against the teacher, it was all out, trying to push them as well, yet in adhering to the rules of consolidation. The one with the superior root would succeed in uprooting. So to be pushed back 1,000 times is sort of part of the ritual, part of the initiation, to understand what that's like. However, shortly after me came a change, a shift in how students were practicing. That was when I saw the position 2 take over, so that the student never placed their weight fully forward, requiring the teacher to deal with that. And yes, of course, there's the forward and back and all the change, but I'm speaking in general here, the general frame that 2 people engage in as they're trying to develop their Tai Chi skills. So to develop the Tai Chi skills from position 1, I'm speaking from the point of view of the student here, leads to a markedly different effect than developing your Tai Chi skills from position 2 or even position 3. And of those that may employ position 1, I see all too much readiness to collapse structure once the teacher succeeds in breaking the root. In this respect, I'm categorizing together position 1 that tends to collapse the structure, and go back and lose control and so forth together with position 2, because it's more or less the same that's achieved. Now I also went around and practiced many other styles, and one that came up in the private Facebook group was a question about E-Trend, which I happen to have quite a bit of experience with as well. You can register for the private Facebook group and read that discussion as it unfolds. But what I want to say here is that the general position of the student in the E-Trend practice that I experienced in the San Francisco Bay Area with a renowned teacher was position 2. When I first joined, took my turns to push with the teacher, that upon touching hands, I felt I needed to pull back. There's a sense that you gain. When I applied my weight forward, but with the young repelling power training, I felt that she could collapse under my pressure. But what was really interesting was what happened after that. I didn't want to test her structure. Once I sensed that she couldn't hold my position 1, I simply went back and copied the other students and did position 2. But once she uprooted me and I began to go back, I experienced tremendous back end power from her. It was thrown back in the same fashion that the other students were. My observation that I want to share with you here is that how you train, the frame with which you train, highly influences the kind of fa jing or repelling power that you possess. Because position 2 is a standard way of practice in Jian Zhuang or Yichuan or Da Cheng Quan, whatever you want to call it in general, the body of the student becomes habituated to being thrown back with tremendous force that comes from the back end. So position 2 and position 3 is where the force is trained. But in position 1, which is never contested, and if it is, only briefly before someone is uprooted and then goes into position 2 or 3 and then gets propelled back very effectively. So what you're going to get in the training is position 1, because that was the original. It was what, in my experience, enabled the youngs to develop the tremendous abilities. When position 1 is mastered, then you carry that quality, that ability, into your position 2 and 3, so that everything is like position 1. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share. It's a small point, but if you look at it, it could be a big point in terms of how you may wish to incorporate it into your current practice now. But mastery of the position 1 is really where we're going with the advanced Yang Tai Chi corrections, and will constitute a critical piece to the elevation of Yang Tai Chi standard in the world as the word gets out. One more thing, when it comes to the solo form and the advanced Yang Tai Chi corrections that will be offering the training, you can expect pretty much the same kind of different treatment of material that you already know. Okay, thanks for listening in today. Look forward to sharing more. If you haven't subscribed already, remember to do so. Hit the like button, comment either below or in the Facebook group, and share it with the people who you think might be interested in this work. Dr. Mike Yuan, thanks so much. Over and out.